What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the AFC podcast. I am your host, Phil Cappadora, founder of the Astoria Filmmakers Club and the executive director of the Triborough Film Festival. And yes, I am wearing what appears to be much of a tuxedo and a new hat. Today was a wonderful day. I'm sure I'll get to talk about it with our guest. Joining me today is Spencer Maxwell from Philadelphia, currently living in Bushwick, Brooklyn, New York. And we're going to talk about his film that is actually featuring or showing at our premiere on January 25th at the Zucker Theater at the Kaufman Astoria Studios. Everybody say hello to Spencer, creator of The Bottle. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. No, Snow, hang on. She just started chewing on this thing. Please don't bite that part. I don't know if you heard that as a high-pitched squeaky sound.
Not quite. No, they're really good at canceling out all the unwanted audio these days.
You know, I got to say, I'm really looking forward to the day we actually have a podcast studio, and those days are probably not that far off where we could actually have these ones and have a more intimate setting and really I swear, she never, ever bites this thing. Snow, please stop doing that. For those of you listening for the first time, I'm sure by now, if you don't know, for the last year and a half, I've had a dog named Snow. She'll be 2 years old in January. She's a golden retriever, and I think she's doing it on purpose since you figured it out because I'm giving her attention now with my hand.
Yeah.
Well, Spencer, I guess welcome to the AFC podcast. Glad you could be a part of the Triborough Film Festival. And now that we're talking about it, how'd you hear about the Triborough?
It was through Film Freeway. I was looking up festivals in the New York area, which obviously there's a ton. And, I was looking for stuff that might, be good for community and fostering, the arts and stuff. So, this seemed pretty good. So just went for it. And, actually, I think this is the first festival I got into now that I think about it. And
don't tell me that, man.
no, and then this was like super early on too, because I applied like a long, long time ago, and then I was like, oh wow, I got into a festival. Oh wow, it's in January. Okay, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So
Well, how long ago did you film The Bottle?
we filmed it August 2023.
Okay. So you were trying to do at least a full year of just festival runs, and then the summer of 24 you got in?
Yeah. So well, it didn't get finished until early 2024 when we had everything done. So shortly after I started applying, and that's when I got into this.
I was moved, man. This was one film that really stood out amongst the rest because I don't want to give anything away, but I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. The suspense element was definitely there, and the use of the dialogue, if any, was very tasteful.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Is this your first film that you ever completed?
No. But I haven't made a proper short film before this in like 7 years. So I was kind of out of it for a bit. So this is kind of like my comeback film in a way. So it had been some time.
All righty. Did you go to, I guess, filmmaking school, like the New York
Yeah.
Film Academy or something like that?
I went to Temple University in Philly, which has a pretty good film program.
Oh, so you're originally from Philadelphia.
Yeah, well, I'm from Delaware originally, Philly area, basically. Yeah.
Oh, all right. And what was it like studying at Temple?
Oh, it was good. So I initially went to University of Delaware for my first 2 years, and then I transferred to Temple because they actually have a film program. And I feel like I feel like with their program at the time, you kind of got out of it what you put into it. So I made a senior thesis film there, and which didn't I went got it to a few festivals, but it didn't do too much. But I definitely learned a lot from that, and definitely carried that over to the bottle as well. And there's definitely some parallels between my thesis and the bottle as well.
Oh, so you've been out of college for almost all those 7 years?
Yeah, I'm 32, so
You don't look 32, man.
thank you.
No, I can't even think of I don't even want to get stereotypical, but you definitely remind me of somebody. I just can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of different people like, oh, you remind me of Axl Rose or
Uh,
Greg Allman or something.
that's actually a good one. So now that uh you're living in Brooklyn, what's that? What did you go through like any culture shock or anything like that with the transfer or the transplant?
No, actually, because so yeah, I was living in Philly for a few years, and then just I moved to New York just because honestly, in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, there just isn't much like film work, video work going on, compared to New York and LA and other places. So I felt like the time was right for me to like move, and I just moved like 5 years ago, like almost yeah, almost to the day. So.
Okay.
Yeah, just before the pandemic hit. Yeah, and I basically moved here for work, and I got my first full-time job ever here, so that was pretty fortunate.
Oh, cool. So what do you do now?
I'm a videographer and editor for a YouTube channel.
You must be really good at your job.
I'm okay.
Have you always been into filmmaking growing up, or is this something you kind of fell into?
Yeah, when I was a kid, my friends and I we'd make like backyard films with our home video camera and stuff. And then, was I was on YouTube early on, just making like silly shorts with my friends, and then eventually, realizing that I should do this, full time. And so then when I was in college, like I said, went to Temple and, made it a real thing. So yeah, I've been doing it since I was young.
Honestly, that sounds like one of the coolest film studio names, Backyard Films.
Yeah, that's probably been taken by someone.
Oh, I mean, that's a very good one if they figured it out and are
Yeah,
using
yeah.
it. I just hope they're staying true to that form where it's like, yeah,
Yes.
like respect the name.
hmm
So the bottle, like, what made you want to make this film?
So actually, technically, this film is a remake because
Oh,
in college, some friends of mine, when we went to the University of Delaware, when we were in the film club, and there was no film program at University of Delaware, so in the film club, a couple friends of mine, we all at the end of the year we went down to the beaches in Delaware. One of the guys in the club, his family happened to live around there, and then we were all like, we were there for a weekend. We were like, we want to make a film. What could we do? And we all kind of that night kind of came up with the basic idea for the film. The next day we shot the whole thing, and then it was edited shortly afterward. And it was a cool idea. Had some good ideas in it, but I felt like, all right, I felt like we could do this a lot better. So and that was like what 12 years ago we made that. And then for a few years I wasn't really making my own personal projects as much, just focusing on work. But then more recently, I was going through my short film ideas. I have, been writing a few short scripts, and then, I was figuring out which one I want to do next. And I was like, all right, well, I've been out of it for a little bit, making shorts. So I'm like, all right, let me do the easiest film of all of these, which happened to be The Bottle. But I also just really wanted to make it as well. So, yeah, so that's how that got started. And then we rewrote the screenplay a little bit. The original short was, mostly the same. We changed the ending, and added a few other elements to it. So this film has been a long time in the making for sure.
okay. All right. What happened with the original footage on the first one? Or did you just go with a different storyline, or what was the point of the remake?
Um, just because we shot it all in one day, kind of haphazardly.
Oh,
Because it was just like a weekend thing. We were like, hey, let's make a movie. So it was nice to have that as kind of like, all right, here's like the first version of it to sort of build off of. But I mean, it's also on YouTube. You can check it out if you want to. But
dude,
um,
yeah, like please send me anything you can. Like I'll tag you in our like description just so there's a reference point.
yeah.
I'm a YouTube fanatic when I have the free time.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's interesting to compare the two of them, but yeah, so but for years I remember I'd be like, oh, I want to remake that. I feel like I could just do that so much better.
So, okay. Now, how long did it take you to shoot this version of the bottle then?
We did. like 2.5 days, uh,
Okay.
an extended weekend, basically.
What was it, about 20 minutes and change?
The film notes about 11.
11? Oh,
Yeah,
jeez, I
but
was way off.
it is it is a bit of a slow burn, so I could understand thinking it's longer.
I watched it again around Halloween time. I thought it was 20 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I gotta give you a lot of props, man. Um, what was it like finding the actor for this film?
So the actor is actually a good friend of mine, Max, who's a filmmaker himself. Actually, he's more of a writer director than he is an actor. But
Is he
um,
really?
yeah, so because basically the group of friends I basically the movie the current version I also made with a different group of friends from the first one. um and but we all knew each other from college, and we were all filmmaking, we're all filmmakers. And it was like five of us, we all came together. And then it was funny because so I actually co-directed this film with my best friend Zach. We've known each other since we were two as well, and we've been making movies like for yeah, ever since we were young. And we both independently were like, all right, we both want Max to be in this movie because we felt like, all right, we're looking for an everyman. And it felt like he just had this look that we're like, all right, like you just fit this role so well. And we just know him already. And, so it just felt very natural to us.
I gotta say, he seemed very natural just doing it. He wasn't like acting or anything, but he was like really, really in it the entire time.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Is that more your thing? You like to go more in the suspense drama type of filmmaking?
I mean, I like I'm trying to do all kinds of different movies because like I like my next film is like a drama that I'm writing, and then I also have like a sci-fi that I'm trying to write. So I feel like I don't really stick to any one particular genre, but maybe more so drama.
Oh, okay. Uh, did you ever take any acting classes or get a taste of the theater bug and feel out the drama?
So I was a bit of a theater kid in high school. I
Okay.
was in, a few plays and musicals. And, in all the various short films and skits my friends and I did, when we were teenagers in college and high school, I was in a lot of that stuff as well. Just because like, you put your friends and yourself in your movies, the backyard films like we were talking about. So yeah, I do have a bit of experience with it, but nothing too formal.
Oh, all right. So you got an idea of storytelling drama and like just understanding the genres and everything like that.
Yeah.
How many short films do you think you've made?
See, it's like what counts as a short film, like that's hard to answer because yeah, like going back to when I was like 8 to like, all the way till now, it's just like I've made so many video projects of, I've done short films, music videos, experimental projects, like, so that's really hard to answer.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Like,
No, that's not a problem.
I just figure, like you got your hours under your belt.
Yeah, yeah. But in
Okay.
terms of like more serious shorts, the bottle might be my third, again, depending on how you want to slice it.
Well, if there's credits at the end of the film, I think that counts.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean we just did a lot of dumb shorts and just silly stuff when we were younger. So, where do you draw the line? I don't know.
I don't think there is a line.
Yeah.
No, honestly, because I was really th like this topic kind of hit me really hard on the car today while I was traveling, because lately I've been catching myself talking to myself and having like full conversations on where I'm at.
Hmm.
And one thing I was talking about today was like refinding the joy in what you do and removing the career element to it.
Yeah.
Have you ever
That's
felt like, would you say that you're career oriented?
um I mean, I guess I could see like client work and my job and stuff as more of a means to an end. But
Yeah.
it's the passionate stuff, my own personal projects that I'm, and helping on other people's projects that I'm more interested in, but always trying to find that balance.
There is definitely a balance, and one thing that I really kind of just reconnected with earlier today was like why I started doing it in the first place. Like the
Yeah.
day one time, because there was a time where, I was just in construction or like my path was completely different. This, through theater first, musicals, and then my first short film as an actor, I was never thinking, I never once thought of it as a career path because, I had other goals and ambitions, but it kind of just kept falling back into my lap a little bit. And I kept doing it because I really enjoyed doing it. And at some point, way after college and just not having like any money involved with it or anything like that, I felt like I was like losing my joy in doing it because I wasn't doing it because I enjoyed it anymore. I was doing it because I felt obligated because it
Mm,
put me in so much college debt. And it's like, I'm doing like, why am I doing this? And then I'm like, this is my career. This is my choice. But it's like, but I don't enjoy it anymore. So
mm,
that part really kind of just split me a little bit from like 2000, like around 2016 to 2020, where like I dedicated 4 years to training and I enjoyed it. And then when I was no longer training and enjoying it, then 4 years turned around of just a lull from like 2013 to 2017, where I was just, I was enjoying a little bit here, a little bit there. There was no money, but my credits are going out the roof, and my resume is turning out to be like over 100 projects and things like that. Some on
yeah.
IMDb, some not on IMDb. Some of the things I actually really enjoyed, but it kind of caught up to me like in 2016, where you're still in debt. You used to have a great job, and now you're just doing almost absolutely nothing. It's like, why are you doing this? And that's where I kind of split a little bit, where I became more like, you know, uh, maybe I have to focus a lot more like this is a career, this is a business. But that was my mistake because from 2016 to 2020, that's all it really was, and it just kind of felt like a different type of obligation, It didn't
Hmm.
matter what type of role I was doing. I was like, no, I'm doing this because I have to do it. And that's where I fucked up. I wasn't
Mm,
doing it anymore because I actually liked what I did. I said I put myself in a hole and it's just like, how do I get out of it? The same way you got in.
yeah.
And that's where I'm at right
Yeah.
now. It's like I actually discovered this today where uh last year I got my first acting job for the first time in a long time. I didn't even try to apply for anything in like the last 3 years. It was like a hard stop. I'm like, I got to stop. I don't want this anymore. I did what do you call it? A murder mystery, where I just got back into acting a little bit. Let me just see if it's still there. And there were a couple sparks, not gonna lie. There was a lot more good for me that I think came out of that than bad. And I beat myself up if I forget a line or something like that. And it was my first live performance since 2015. Since then, it's just like, oh Jesus. And I knew I goofed up on a couple, but we got through it. And I even got some really good strategic laughs. And then I tried to like, audition here and there. I hate that with a passion. I like you. No, I don't like. I'll be in a movie, I'll do my job, I'll do my part, you know what I'm capable of. The auditioning part where it's just like cold reading scripts the day before, things like that, absolutely not. I don't I'm not a one night stand type of guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna approach this intimately. Theoretically
Sure.
speaking, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
somewhere today, I kind of just reconnected with like getting that orientated mindset back where it's like just do it because you do enjoy this, not because you have to. And I actually started reconnecting with that a little bit and starting enjoying it again. And I got cast in a movie out of nowhere. I got a phone call out of nowhere, and now I'm in a boxing movie.
Mm, okay.
And I'm
Cool.
actually starting to have a little bit of fun with that because, I dropped like 40 pounds since like July and I'm
Mm,
getting back in shape and I'm having fun with the process of doing it. And I don't even like I'm probably not going to get paid for this at all, but I don't want to be quite honest. That's not now, not yet, or whatever. That's not why I do this.
okay. Yeah, I'm glad you found that for yourself.
I think I'm just just getting my mind set and my priorities straight a little bit
Mm,
because first of all, I never would have thought I would have been in this industry, this career, the artistry, the entire universe of any of this ever in my life. but this is where I'm at, and this happens to be some things. There's a lot of things in this business, this world, this universe that I think I'm really not just good at, but I actually like doing it, you know?
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, I'm figuring it out. And
Sure.
and now, as you see, I'm wearing a bow tie. I'm wearing a like,
Ah,
tuxedo. I was at
you've
the
made it.
yeah. Oh, I made it to the big time, bro. I was at the Queen's Chamber of Commerce today, and it was a hit. Like it was like people who I've gotten a chance like barely cross paths with over the last 2 years. We all finally got to shake hands. Like, I know you're from somewhere. I'm like, yeah, hi, it's me. And I got like over like a couple dozen business cards. I met a really good actor today who was kind of like affiliated with the Chamber of Commerce, who actually may want to get more involved with the AFC. Let me see if his
Oh,
stuff
cool.
pops up. Oh man, his name is Vincent. Vincent Pizzezio, I think his name is. There's no way I lost his name. Did I lose his name? Nope. His name is Vince, and he's the founding partner of Triplicity Entertainment. Met him today, and chances are we're going to reconnect with him during the Triborough Film Festival.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah, so today was just a very like unique day, like top to bottom, left to right. And today was just a very unique, good day.
Nice. Yeah. But when you're saying about, kind of like losing the passion for it and, feeling like obligated to, to act for money and stuff, like I feel like, sometimes if I'm like working all day, just doing my job or client work or something, and then like trying to work on my own personal projects after that, it's like, oh man, I've been in front of Adobe Premiere for like hours now. I don't want to do anymore. So I totally get like sort of the logistical money things getting in the way of the passion and how that can kind of like you can get jaded from that because like when I was living in Philly for like a few years, like I was just like for I feel like in your 20s it's kind of a lot of like figuring out life, so I feel like I just wasn't really like I had a film that I had shot that I was sitting on for like years and I just like wasn't finishing it and like I wasn't working on much else and I was just I don't know, just like trying to figure out things, just trying to get work and yeah, it was not the best time for me in like my mid 20s, but I kind of got myself out of that rut and and like The Bottle is the first film that the first big project anyway since then basically.
Did you shoot it on a red camera?
It was on a Black Magic Pocket cinema camera.
I think Clay, one of our guys, Clay has that exact same camera.
Okay, yeah, it's solid. I mean, especially for the price, it's kind of insane how good you can make your film look for like not a ton of money.
Did you shoot it in 6K?
Yes, we did. Shot in
Yeah, bro,
6K and
it definitely shows.
yeah, yeah, and we output it in 4K and that gave us some extra room to play around with it in post. So yeah,
Fixing
that
the
was
frames and whatnot.
yeah, yeah, like a lot of reframing and yeah, so that was amazing. That was the first time I ever shot anything in 6K.
Yeah, because when I saw the shots, I'm like, this looks familiar, and I'm like, huh. And the quality was actually really good. The coloring was balanced. Like, did you use a Steadicam?
We did a lot of handheld or just shoulder rig. Um,
You hit
so
that very well.
thank you. Yeah, Joey, the cinematographer. Yeah, he's really good. Um, but yeah, mostly just shoulder rig.
I gotta say, man, like, hats off to you. That was actually very well executed. It was right there the entire time, and like the best beginning, middle, and end for that genre, bro. That was very well done.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Like, kind of, it's just like it pops in my head. I'm like, how the hell did somebody turn down your film at their festival?
I feel like it's a bit I think like some people love it and some people like just aren't into it. I feel like it's kind of like you either love it or you don't. Because I mean, it is a slow burn. So I know some people, perhaps they're like, all right, like get to it. But I kind of want it to be very meditative and, kind of, having the audience sit with the character and trying to read his emotions based off his facial expressions and, body language.
All righty. I gotta say, like, it's just now I'm not distracted, but it's just like I'm a little. It's a little disappointing to know that a lot of people in the audience can't actually watch out and about in the festival circuit where they want to be a part of it and just like go and watch some independent films. But a film like yours just wouldn't get picked for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was told that for one festival, I won't say which, but like, yeah, like the panel that was deciding, like half the people loved it, half the people like weren't into it.
Not, I don't want to throw them under the bus, but were they a New York-based film festival? All right, never mind. Because I'm like, what? All right, so we don't have to go there. And
Yeah.
it's like a lot of like, I think we got like a good like seven film festivals in Queens that happen throughout the year, and
Mhm.
uh, a lot of them, have a great reputation, no doubt about it. And it's just a curious thing. Like after the film festival circuit, do you have like a an end plan on where to go, what's the next step, or what to do?
Once like it's been about 2 years since it first debuted, which will be about a year and a half from now, because it started last June when it first screened somewhere. So I'll probably just end up putting it on YouTube and just send it around since, it's already kind of made the festival run. I just want to like get it out and actually like, publicly show it to people since, I've had to be, because, if it's in the festival run, you can't show it so publicly like that. So I'd like to just be able to have it out there for people to see. But and then next year I plan on shooting my next short film.
What's that going to be about?
So this is a screenplay I've been writing. It's about two exes that meet up for the first time in a year. And it kind of explores a lot of the mixed emotions that go along with that.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
How long would you say that's going to be?
That'll be about 15 minutes or so.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Are they stuck in a are they stuck in an elevator together or anything like that?
Not exactly. It's for them it's a planned meeting. They meet at a restaurant and yeah, I don't want to say too much about it, but yeah, it's based on a true thing that happened to me, and yeah, it's interesting. I because after that happened, after the real life event happened, I was like, damn, that was like a movie. So then I'm like, all right, this needs to be a movie. So yeah.
You want to give me the elevator pitch on what it is?
Um, Yeah, I guess. I mean, like I said, yeah, two exes meet up after a year, and both of them just aren't in a good state of life. They're both struggling in their own ways, and then they're trying to reconnect. She basically moved away from the city they're in. She's like visiting back for like the week, seeing friends and everything, and
Mhm.
she's kind of on a time crunch because she's catching a train back to where she lives. So they're meeting at this restaurant, and they're kind of tiptoeing around their actual feelings, and it eventually does lead back to his place, and I'm not going to say what happens there.
I assume there's a break-in and they're gonna like fight for their lives to survive.
That would be an interesting direction for sure.
All right. So no spoilers. Oh man. So are you gonna use the same cast and crew from the bottle on this film?
Some of the same crew for sure. Different actors for sure. Not sure. Yeah, because I haven't like because for the bottle it was just one actor, and it was a friend that I already had, so I haven't actually casted for a film in a long time. So that'll be interesting diving back into that, and especially like with just like it's just mainly these two characters is like they're carrying the whole movie, so like their chemistry has to be really solid. So that'll be an interesting uh, process for me to especially when it's based on a real event. So like there's that factor that goes into it. It's like how similar do I want to make it to the actual events? How much do I want to deviate from that?
Oh, you don't want it to be like a spin-off?
Not exactly. Yeah, it's just like because it's an adaptation of what happened, but because at first, like when I first wrote the screenplay, it was just like a literal like what I remembered from the day, basically, and then from there, I've made a number of changes since.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so you're gonna use the 6K camera again?
probably. Yeah,
I would.
yeah,
If you could, I would.
yeah,
Oh man. So this is your first film festival coming through, and you excited?
yeah. Well, the bottle's been at a few other festivals, but this was the first one I got accepted to.
Hmm.
So, which was very exciting when that happened. But this will also be the New York City premiere as well.
Ah, fun facts.
Yeah,
Very,
yeah. So I'm really excited for that.
oh, good. Bring your friends, because did were you able to get all like the Q like not the QR codes? I'm sorry, the all the promo codes and everything we've been sending out?
Embark on your unique financial journey with Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. Your aspirations, your milestones. We're committed to guiding you every step of the way. Whether you're saving for a dream home, planning for retirement, or seeking to consolidate debt, trust MHV to provide personalized solutions tailored to your needs. Our comprehensive range of products and services, coupled with expert financial advice, empowers you to make informed decisions and achieve your goals. Visit us online at mhvfcu.com to discover the tools and resources available to help you navigate your financial landscape with confidence and clarity. Your journey starts here.
I probably got that somewhere in my email.
You definitely 100% should have gotten it because,
Okay.
as soon as I sent him out, there was this one guy, he took advantage and he got like 20 tickets. I'm like, all right, we'll see you there.
Yeah, but no, I'm definitely going to invite a bunch of people to the festival for sure. Because especially because like all the other festivals I've been to were in like Pennsylvania or Delaware, and some people came out for those, but it'd be nice to have my New York City friends be able to come out for this.
Good, because I know it's going to fill up very fast. We already sold out, I think, one of the blocks already. I'm looking to have a second day of screening for all, I don't want to say the leftovers, but like come back if you want to watch it a second time or or you missed the first time, bring family and friends, just so we don't leave anybody behind and like the filmmaker gets like a fair like a fair audience on their stuff. And of course we do a Q&A, so we try to keep it as interactive and constructive as we can.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's how to do it.
Well, yeah, like, dude, I know how important film festivals are because that, like what I was telling you before, when I really enjoyed it, it was back in 2008. I did my first acting class, and it kind of just all happened. And then the winter around this time in 2008, I auditioned because one of the guys from the film department was co-directing a short play that we were doing in my acting class. And then he got to watch everything like in the audience. And when he saw me, he had to do a senior thesis with two other partners in his film class, and they asked me to audition for their movie. Surprisingly, I got it. And all I had to like one of the last things they asked me was like, "Do you know how to spell Derek?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I spell it for him, Derek, and they were like confident at that point. Okay, yeah, and that was pretty much it. And then we made this short film called Village Music, and yeah, it was awesome. It was a very nice film. We did it in the back end of winter, or actually no, it was released by then, but it was like January, early February of 2009. And I got to watch it in the premiere class at the end of their semester, and that kind of just really impressed me because I just remember like the story was excellent. I had no idea it was going to actually turn out like that after reading the script, because when you throw it all together, between the music, between the timing, the acting, the comedy, the drama, it was just like it was so much fun. But what ended up happening was that film got accepted into the Black Bear Film Festival that summer. And I got a taste of what a film festival is actually like, going to see segments, meeting filmmakers, and just that impression you get when people are watching your work or your movie and you're enjoying it and they're enjoying it with you. That's what really led me to make a film festival of our own, because I understand how important that is for people.
Mm, nice. Do you have a link to that short? that
I
you were?
do. Yeah, man. It's actually that's also on my YouTube channel. I'll send it to you.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right. After this, we'll email each other our links, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really quick. That one's about 22 minutes long, and
Okay.
when I uploaded it to YouTube, we were only able to like upload stuff like 10 minutes at a time. Now
Oh
you can,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, back.
so it's like, oh damn. So I mean, like it's there's a part one right next to it and a part B right next to it, but
Mm,
it's like just chapter one, the daytime, chapter two, the nighttime, and
okay.
it all happens in one day. And it's just, I think you would like it. It was a good story.
All right.
Oh, so much fun. Village music. Oh, what else you want to talk about? We're just like
Would you consider The Bottle a horror film?
borderline.
Yeah, because there's a lot of horror festivals, of course, and I've kind of been like not sure if it would make sense to submit to those because I feel like that wouldn't be exactly what they're looking for.
It's not disqualifying from a horror genre because not to give it away, but just your use of the dialogue there, it lent itself so much more towards thriller and suspense because of that, you know?
Hmm.
And I think it's favored in that direction, but horror is not off the table because of how it was executed.
Yeah, because there's one jump scare.
Well, even how you did it with the timing and everything,
Mhm.
it was just. This brings up a really interesting topic because I really want to work on and build and create the color palette relationship, but with genre instead of the actual colors.
Mm.
And understanding their relationship, understanding how they're similar, and where are not the lines, but there is a blend and a transition on how to just really navigate in that. Horror horror can be a comedy in a way. That's the most weirdest thing.
There's a lot of overlap.
But that's the other thing too, is that drama can also be a comedy. Like comedy
Yeah.
just needs to have that adapt adaptation, the adaptability, that chameleon element. But
Hmm.
drama can not really be horror based on how it's executed. It would move away from genre based on your cinematography.
Yeah, I mean, Hereditary comes to mind as like a family drama that's also a horror, but I mean, in a certain way, every movie is a drama.
Well, what's Hereditary about? I don't think I know that one.
It's that A24 film by Ari Aster. It's where
All right. I remember now. I
yeah,
didn't watch it.
no,
I saw the cover and the trailer. Awesome. Good. Not for me. Not doing it.
yeah.
That was about it.
But I almost feel like the term drama is almost applied to a film that you almost can't exactly fit into any other genre, you know?
How come? Why do you think that is?
Well, because like if you do like sci-fi, that's almost like a setting. Or horror is, something scary that evokes a very specific emotion out of someone. Um,
It's
But
got
I
to
don't
be
know. I just feel like I feel like drama is just like because like every movie has not every but almost every movie has drama, characters, conflicts. It's just I guess drama films is the focus as opposed to something that's you know perhaps secondary for some films.
it's got to be lighting, that really moves the needle into the specific direction, you know. That's got to be like one of the bigger deciding factors because sci-fi that it's not noir, but it leans in that direction a little bit because there's going to be a lot of shadow work a lot of times in a sci-fi. I think unless it's made more like a drama where it's more actor driven and it just happens to
Mhm.
be with not to get cliche, but I think that's when it becomes more scientifically driven. Like Back to the Future could be a sci-fi in a manner of speaking, but it's not really a sci-fi,
More
even though
about the characters and the drama between them.
but that's the thing, and
Yeah.
it was like I don't know, it was a very well balanced film because it had all the elements to it. It
Mhm.
had the suspense, it had the comedy, it had it had the drama. Uh, Didn't really have horror per se in that, but it did have the sci-fi because even when Marty McFly and the use of the light when he was getting out of the DeLorean when he right after he crashed into wasn't Peabody's barn, was it Peabody?
Something like that.
It was something like that. It probably was, but see that it did lean science more towards science fiction because they were really pushing the boundaries of is it possible to travel in time, and that's kind of a scientific, I guess,
Mhm.
quest where they're trying to
Yeah.
figure it out.
But then there's like soft sci-fi and then hard sci-fi, whereas like soft sci-fi is like Star Wars, where sci-fi is just the setting, but then hard sci-fi is like Star Trek, where like science and technology is actually part of the story and the themes. So I feel like Back to the Future would be more soft sci-fi because it's more about the characters, and the sci-fi elements are more just like a vehicle for the character drama.
Would you say coming of age is more of a subgenre than a genre?
Yeah, yeah, coming of age. It's I guess a subgenre.
All right, so that's sort of like your core of the palette, and like where things kind of just connect a little bit. It seems like we only have these genres because we need a way to describe it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's just shorthand for like, if you like this, you might also like that.
Huh. Yeah, I guess so. Just thinking of like algorithms and stuff like that. That's a sci-fi. Like if you do
Yeah,
something like about that, you can make it a comedy though.
true, true. But, I feel like as humans, we always want to put things into categories, that it just makes it easier to organize things like that.
I suppose. Filmmaking is very phenomenal because I don't know, like in like world history, ancient history, but just to kind of do something like this, and we're a part of it in the last 100 years, like this is a very phenomenal thing because it's so rooted in world culture. Because now it's like one of the most common threads that bridges all gaps
Yeah,
between every single culture on the planet, where a film brings you into the perspective of somebody you'll probably never meet, and you could relate to them.
true. It's transformative in so many ways. And
It's
yeah,
kind of weird though, isn't it? Like anytime in human history, like this is like really like I don't want to even say the apex, but just like this technology, this art
yeah.
form, everything this is that's just shaping reality. It's like one of the most powerful things that's probably ever been created.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of human history, filmmaking is an extremely recent art form. And even just, digital filmmaking and the internet and distribution and being able to, you know, show your projects to, all over the world, that's an even more recent phenomenon. So it's like we're still catching up to it mentally and, psychologically and trying to, just technology in general, just trying to like keep up with things because it's just accelerating at an exponential rate. So we're trying to figure out, just I guess we're trying to figure out how to communicate and how to story tell and all that in this crazy changing world.
It is really phenomenal because what kind of like surprises me is that I get to be a part of it. You get to be a part of it. Our generation, like we get to be a part of this and really like contribute to it.
Yeah, yeah. And then even like the younger generation, they'll, like how's filmmaking going to be in even just, I don't know, 10, 20 years?
If I had to guess, honestly, I think it's going to come full circle.
What do you mean?
I think I think it's going to get to the point because it's almost right there right now where the skill set on how it all began is fading away. And the next generation, they're going to be teaching themselves the old ways on how to like not just like create new art forms, but sort of like not even reboot, but uh, restore the dawn of it. Whether it's
Mhm.
through silent films and they're going to practice that and they're just going to like sort of like pay homage to it and solidify it and just come full circle. I think theater and plays and things like that are going to take an extraordinary turn because they're going to want to get away from technology a little bit because that's the only thing they ever do. And it's not so
Mm.
much a luxury or a utility anymore.
Hmm.
the luxury is like, I think, going to be getting away from it, getting away from VR and just feeling like a human being again. And I think I really do think it's going to come full circle and stuff like that. That's what I think. I think it's going to be full circle. That's just my educated guess. And we're barely going to be around for it on the back end because, we're going to be grandpas by then. But, we're going to be the ones that kind of just, we're at this, part of the turning point and then in real mentorship at that time.
Yeah, yeah, we're definitely at an intersection where we, grew up, or we were born pre-internet, and then kind of we were young during the internet's rise, and we were kind of an in-between generation in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I think virtual reality, the metaverse, and what was that movie? Ready Gamer One
Ready
or something?
Player One?
Yeah, so that was Spielberg's thing, right?
Yeah, he directed that.
I'm confident it is going to happen just like that in reality. I don't think the slums of the earth or anything like that are going to be that drastic at that time. I think we're going to have some serious, efficient, humanitarian, keeping people alive effectively and efficiently and opportunity through the arts to just grow and prosper and all that. I think
Hopefully.
we're going to be in complete different classifications of I guess social status. I'm really sure that's uh, going to happen. But I think the one thing that kind of bridges them all together, where it's a level playing field, is in that VR, that virtual reality, where it's going to look a lot like that.
Yeah. But then, like you were saying, I feel like there will be kind of almost like a humanist movement of people just like staying away from technology and wanting to, connect to just being a human, being a living person. And, because like I was saying before, it's like technology is just rapidly advancing and we're still just mentally and psychologically catching up.
You just remind, dude. Yeah, exactly. And you just reminded me of you reminded me of a movie idea that we came up with over the summer, and I want to get the name right. I'm going to look it up real quick, but there was something that happened where it kind of triggered the idea of like, oh, taxes. I think that's how it all kind of began. You know how do you ever feel bothered that your means of transportation, you have to have insurance on it in order to even use it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't have a car, but yes, I totally get that.
So to that point, I thought about how interesting would it be if you had to pay taxes and tolls by using the sidewalk?
Mm. Yeah.
It's like, what's the difference? Like, you got the same person. I get it. A car. Um, you're on a road, but why is that different than a sidewalk? And how come I'm not paying taxes and tolls because of the shoes I wear?
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was I came up with a sci-fi idea, and I'm looking it up right now. If we just like really talk about that concept, what would that type of reality look like? What's that one about?
Hmm.
Where are you? I want to get the name right. Oh, I don't know if you could see this. I found it. I actually have six open. Open up. Open. Oh, this is bullshit. I'm opening it, but it's not opening.
Technology, right?
Yeah. Open. There we go. Hold on. So let me see. Can you see that? Oh, damn.
It's going in and out.
You mother. Hold on. Come on. Come on. Come on. You're this is bullshit. How about
Like
now?
it's not a person, so it thinks it's just
Oh,
background.
hold on. How about now? Oh, wait. How about now? Come
Yeah, it's in
on.
and out.
Oh my
Yeah, I see
God.
a little. Okay, at the very end there, I saw.
That's oh, this is so dumb. Let me try to brighten it all the way and see if that works. Unless the phone system doesn't want you to see it because we're
If
gonna
you
make
put
it
it
happen.
like right here, like in front of yourself, like here,
Can you see that?
a little better. I mean, it's a little overblown, but I can see it. Yeah.
Ah, come on, come on. How about now?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so it's a sci-fi. It's actually a sci-fi thriller, and it's called Diversion.
Hmm.
So I came up with all these different. I like this one. Diversion, Step One, where it's actually a series, a sci-fi thriller series called Diversion, and it's centered around basically everything you and I just talked about coming full circle.
Mm.
But it was sort of like the straw that broke the camel's back, where people were they didn't want to wear shoes anymore because they're living in this scientific society where they want to be grounded and get back to like being a part of what the species is actually about.
Okay. Is that like the kind of the start of it and something bigger happens?
Uh, I don't know. It's a collaborative thing. That's what the Story of
Okay.
Filmmakers Club actually is. But I just thought, how dumb is it that we're doing what we're actually doing it because we're actually oppressing people? And who comes up with these prices? Like, you know what really got under my skin several years ago and back in 2015, 2016, we had to pay for a limited amount of like 4G, 5G use or whatever it was for our Wi-Fi use when we're not hooked up to a router or something like that. It was just complete and total bullshit because before that, we had unlimited Wi-Fi under a subscription, but somebody was like playing with like, no, if they want more, they play more, and that's it. And then they started playing with rollover times. Like, okay, you bought five, this is it for the month, it rations it out. Okay, you buy another five, and now you have 10 the next month or whatever it is. I'm like, this is all just complete bullshit. So it kind of just made me wonder why, in the name of Jesus Christ, are we paying all of this money every single month on insurances, even homeowners insurance, not a single problem for years and years and years, but there's no rollover credit because all we did was give money that we earned to someone else to back us up just within 30 days in case something happens. Why the fuck is it only limited to 30 days?
Corporate greed.
That's my fucking point. So wait a second.
Yeah.
Nothing actually happened. So statistically, what's all this bullshit saying like, oh, we have these rates because like shit happens, statistically speaking. I'm like, did you actually take a look at all the things that didn't fucking happen and how much money you made on that? So why are we contributing that much? That amount? No, this is bullshit. I think like some people, they go 15 years and not a single problem. I think they should actually get a reverse mortgage on that fucking money and get it returned to them. That's what I think for the next 15 years.
Mm. Okay.
And little things like that, where it's like, it's like, where's all of our sweat equity going? Who are we actually living for? Is it really for ourselves? And that's where I wanted to play with making movies with these ideas and concept and with diversion, step one. It's literally like asking the question, where's humanity actually going?
Yeah.
Like 30 years ago, like it was nowhere near as ridiculous as it is right now because 5 years from now, nobody's going to be able to pay $4,000 a month for like rent in 30 days. And why the hell is it only 30 days? Who came up with all these numbers and statistics?
Yeah.
Like, but that's the thing though. It's like, I think if you detach yourself from humanity, you just automatically fall into that trap because they can't fully answer it. And I think that's the diversion where you're actually like literally these people are completely just dissolved from their own personal humanity. And it's like they can't even get out of it even if they want to because they don't know how. Not until you take off your fucking shoes and get back to the earth.
Yeah. Are you writing the screenplay for that?
It's on the table, bro. Like with the AFC, we have a digital co-op space where we can start writing, and we now have an official clubhouse in Astoria where we can meet up once a week and actually sit down and talk. And even if we're not sitting down and talking about it, which I prefer, we could still like use like a shared Keltex or something like that, and you could write.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things I wish I can do or will do where when you're a part of the Story of Filmmakers Club, but you don't want to subscribe to all these other services, the club could actually buy these services and everybody could just have a profile or a shared profile. And we just start creating AFC original productions and we just all work together and we just do the damn thing.
Yeah. So with this story, for example, like, is this you spearheading this idea and is this ultimately your film or is this just very much a collective thing?
Everything is collective. Like it's all it's the Little Rascals. Like when they rebuilt the Blur, who actually owned it?
Yeah. But I guess I asked that because I wonder, like, when it comes to like creative decisions, sometimes there can be too many cooks in the kitchen. So like, for these projects, is there anyone who's like making like final say? I'm like, all right, this is the direction we're going in.
Well, first we need a full team, and then you got to like, I guess, if I had to democratize it, I would just vote and just be like, all right, we choose
Oh,
you. And of course, it's like, all right, everybody has so much experience in so many different fields. And I think we should all be open to feedback on what the story first is actually about, because like you said, you don't want to have too many people like putting their 2 cents into it. But I think that's the way it should be. Not to actually say that you wouldn't be a co-creator. The thing is, here in the AFC, we know the truth. That's all we need to know, and
yeah.
that's about it. It doesn't really come down to. Does it really come down to your career? Does it really come down to your appropriate credit on IMDb?
Yeah.
Because I was a background actor in The Post, and I hope Steven Spielberg hears this one out, because I solved a huge fucking problem on that set when we were filming at Columbia University back in 2017, 2016, or 2015, whenever. No, was it? No, it was 2017. We were at Columbia University. The writer and one of the first ADs, they were having a problem because they had to write a line on set, and I'm just standing there minding my own business. I overhear the conversation, and me, the writer I am not at the time, I come up with a suggestion, and they actually use the fucking suggestion during the take. But did I get a writer's credit for that? No. But I don't care about that. Problem fucking solved. Let's make the goddamn movie. Move on. Let's go.
Yeah. No, but my with me asking that, it's because, like, for example, with the bottle, we had a number of meetings, during the writing process and the pre-production process. And everyone came with their own ideas. So, like, even though me and my best friend Zach, we co-directed it, co-wrote it, everyone contributed, and in their own way creatively. However, ultimately, me and Zach were the ones that kind of made the executive decision, like, all right, we're going to go in this direction. I guess I asked that because, like, sometimes with different stories, people want to pull them in their own directions, which is fine. And everyone, and I like it when everyone gives their own suggestions, but I feel like sometimes you do need the captain of that ship to be like, all right, this is the direction we're going to go in. But when you say that if it's a democracy and, like, if you're going to vote on decisions, then I could see that working.
That's the point. And believe me, if you know that you can't handle it or you don't have experience in something, that's fine. Because what we do in the AFC is that if you have your idea, like, and it's this genre, it's this thing, it's non-collaborative, like we solicit the donations for you to actually pull that off, and we get to watch what you did. So you could prove us wrong in several months when we see what you're capable of doing on your own. Because if we see what you're doing on your own, then sit at the table and then come up with a great idea, and we'll let you know if it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it is cool. I'm not trying to disrespect the way you guys do things.
It's a whole new thing, man.
Yeah,
it's really a unification of common interests, and it really there's going to be thousands of ideas, and it's gonna probably take time for us to really start producing them. But I know it's more than possible, especially when we know that some people are just really good at maybe that style of filmmaking. And we only understand that style of filmmaking because we've seen your work up until now. Because if you weren't able to pull it off once before, there you go. Yeah. And if the movie's no good, we'll just reshoot it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're familiar with that. There's a benefit.
Yeah. It might take 12 years, but you can still do it.
Well, that's the interesting thing. What if this movie did take 12 years? Like, maybe at that point in time, we're really going to have that serious problem where what if somebody does propose congestion, where now that less people are actually driving on the road, they're walking on the sidewalk. Why don't we just put in an air tag in their shoes? And then we get to understand exactly how many steps they're taking. And that'll influence healthcare and things like that.
Yeah.
Or the price of healthcare. And who's going to cover the costs? Your taxes. So that way you don't have to pay the premiums or the deductibles. But it all goes right back towards insurance, where it's like, wait, time out. So the more I walk now, even though I did my 15,000 steps a day. Why do I have to do 20,000? Well, because if you don't, the chances of you needing the appropriate amount of health care is going to begin approximately by the time you're 57. We want to get that up to 67. So we recommend that you do 25,000 steps a day. So it's just more control. Instead of you actually like, working for yourself, working 8 hours a day, why not work 1 hour a day and produce the exact same amount of results? That's not the point. It's about controlling your population and getting them distracted. That's why it's called diversion.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Also feels very relevant with recent news as well.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And I did a ridiculous concept like that, but is it that far from reality?
Hmm.
Not really.
How recent did you come up with this idea?
What was it? April, maybe? Let me
Oh,
see.
okay.
Like I think it has a timestamp on it. I'm almost certain it was around April this year. Diversion, home. I don't know
Yeah, I
if it
mean,
has a date on it.
it's becoming more and more relevant as time goes on.
A lot of shit just pops into my head on the type of movies that personally I want to see, but
Welcome to Happy Corner. This project strives to make safe housing areas for stray cats at an affordable price. It's so easy to put together that even your children could have fun making one. Help keep cats and other animals safe with their own little Happy Corner homes. You can help this project become a reality by donating to the GoFundMe page. Happy Corner homes are a great way to show those animals in need it's okay to be happy.
are we actually watching movies right now that have any relevance?
In the mainstream, not so much.
Not at all. Not at all. And I think and honestly, I think it's strategic and I think it's on purpose.
Yeah. Dumbing down the masses.
A little bit, especially now that the next generation, they're growing up with this, where now it's almost like they're fully relying on it. But we
Mhm.
remember a time before the internet, and it's like something's off.
Yeah.
Like these kids are actually really being controlled. Like
Well,
really,
it's interesting because my girlfriend is a school teacher, and it's interesting because it seems like a lot of the kids, like, they're so used to using iPads that even just like printing on a computer, they don't really know how to do that. Middle school kids we're talking, because like when we were younger, we had to like learn computers and learn how the internet works. So like we kind of grew up having to figure that out. But then the kids these days, they're just like used to an iPad where everything's just simple and straightforward. So it's kind of gone backward in a way. So now the Zoomers are like the Boomers.
isn't it weird?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean about the full circle thing. I think that's going to be a matter of liberation. And there was a movie called The Man on the or no, it was a TV show, The Man on the High Castle.
I remember that. Yeah.
You remember that?
I saw the first few episodes.
Wasn't that interesting though? It's like an alternative reality where like even something as simple as a film reel was so foreign and they didn't know how to like really use it. And when they did, it almost like it bridged two different universes and then somehow they merged into the same reality.
Yeah.
I thought that was the weirdest thing, but still, even people with the technology they had at the time, it was their normalcy. And I think there was something liberating about that because it wasn't so much the commercialism of the technology, but just the relevance of it, where you didn't have to use it. And I remember even being in acting school, like it became more relevant that I had a smartphone because I was able to check my emails faster.
Yeah.
But then I would just get distracted because Facebook was a thing.
Sure.
And then it's like, oh shit, I can't even use my flip phone if I needed to, because then who's gonna call me when they need to get in touch with me?
Hmm.
I don't know if it's like an automatic trend or if it's on purpose where it's only a matter of time. But that was when it was weird. Like you even have to download certain apps for your job without exception.
Yeah, that's true.
But even that seems to be a little bit manipulative and controlling.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that like everything's on the phone, like so much of your life is now connected to your phone that if you lose it, it breaks or something, like you're kind of in a bind right there.
I think that's where the craving and the yearning for human connection is going to be essential at some point.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
really, I really think that. I think even like I don't think being an actor is going to be as glamorous anymore because of how saturated the whole market, quote unquote, is going to be. And that's
Oh,
what I
yeah.
meant before because it was career oriented.
Hmm.
Like, it just makes me wonder how many actors and actresses really find the joy in doing this, not because they're under contract, but because they want to do it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think like you were saying earlier, I think a lot of it starts with the passion, but then you just end up doing it, just out of obligation and for money. So you kind of just get caught in that trap. So I feel like that's just so common for most people. But it would be interesting to poll actors and see like, really get an idea of like how much of them still have the passion or like are just totally jaded from just doing it as a job, basically.
It's and that's what I don't like because it's too easy to fall into that trap.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's so common and it's the truth. It's unfortunate, but that's like how it could actually be.
Hmm.
This is turning out to be a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, yeah, going in all kinds of directions.
Yeah, not to sorry if I'm jumping all over the place. I apologize.
No, it's not a problem. It's
Yeah.
up to a conversation.
Oh, I guess what I would really like to know is if whether or not you have a favorite movie.
Yes, The Matrix.
So now let's say that science. That would you call that science fiction?
Oh, yes, for sure.
All right,
Yeah, my favorite movies are science fiction. Like Terminator 2 is my second favorite. I love Star Wars. Yeah.
that's good. There's a lot of things I do appreciate and love about Star Wars. We used to take our broomstick handles, the wooden ones in the garage, and then we would paint them a lightsaber color, and then we would just fight in the backyard and do special stunts on the trampoline.
Oh yeah. I did that with making like newspaper swords, like rolling them up real tight, and then yeah, like coloring them like green and red and stuff.
That I mean, that's the fun thing about, being a star. Like, do you call them Star Warriors?
I've never heard that one.
Coined it. You heard it here first, folks. Yeah, I'm a Star Warrior.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Have you seen any of the recent shows of Star
Well,
Wars?
Mandalorian pulled me in. I thought it was
Yeah.
awesome. I personally think it had a lot more good than bad. I didn't
Oh
like
yeah.
anything about uh I did not really like the last three Star Wars. It just did not match the universe at all.
Have you seen Andor?
No, I think I saw like the first half of the first episode, and I'm like, they talk way too much. And I'm like, I'm done.
It's honestly the best Star Wars since the original trilogy. Straight
No
up.
shit. No way.
Andor. It's
Andor.
Andor is amazing. That show is actually amazing. And it is slow at first. It takes a few episodes for it to start to pick up, but it's honestly like just it's a grittier, story-driven, character-driven Star Wars. Yeah. It's excellent.
All right, so Andor, how is that connected to the universe of Star Wars right now? Because I forgot the one that I was watching where Anakin Skywalker was supposed to come back for a minute. That wasn't Andor, right?
Oh, Ahsoka?
Ahsoka. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't do all of Ahsoka. I saw bits and pieces.
It was
So
okay.
it was okay. All
It was
right.
okay.
Hope I
Yeah,
wasn't
but
confusing them
if you're gonna watch any Star Wars, watch Andor. Seriously, it's that good.
on Disney TV on Disney Plus.
Yeah, yeah, and it takes a like you have to watch because they came out with the first three episodes like at once because they knew that like all right, it's a little slow at first, so you gotta ease into it, but it's seriously excellent. Did you see the movie Rogue One?
I love that one.
Yeah, so like it kind of it's gonna end up leading right into that movie. So it's
Oh, they did a prequel?
yeah, it's basically did you remember Diego Luna in that movie?
If I saw their face, then yes.
He's the main male character in Rogue One.
That's right. Andor. Now I know exactly who
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah, I remember.
It's based on him, and you're also just seeing like the early rebellion and seeing all these disparate it was before like the rebellion's fully formed, so you're seeing all these disparate factions and rebelling against the empire in their own way. And yeah, it just feels like just a lot more mature, just like a more mature Star Wars. It feels almost like you're in a like you're watching like a dystopian series. You might, it's almost some people feel like it's not that Star Wars because it's not like there's no Jedi or Sith. The Force isn't in it at all. It's just like it almost feels like you're watching like a dystopian TV show.
All right, I'm sold. I'll check it out because like I'm not fed up.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
just
yeah,
don't.
because unfortunately, it came right after like the Obi-Wan show and the Boba Fett show, and yeah, those were not good.
But
So like, I felt like a lot of people had a sour taste in their mouth after that, and just didn't want to watch any more Star Wars.
I don't disagree. I mean, I don't agree with the Obi-Wan show because I thought there was a lot like okay, there was some acting that just took away from the whole thing.
Yeah,
I don't think that's entirely fair, but it's understandable because you gotta match tone, acting. You could be the best actor in the world, but if they don't match the universe, they just don't belong there. And that's why you pick and choose different actors, and there's no exception to that rule, uh, and that's the way it should be. You got to trust your director first and foremost. Every single time there's a movie, no matter what, that man is the captain. They probably don't own the ship, but that guy is going to take us in the direction and on that magic ride. So that's just the way it is. So the story, the fighting sequence, like the use of the Force, I thought there was way more with Obi-Wan that was good than ugh.
yeah, I thought it was okay, but I feel like there is more I disliked than liked. But
Like what? Come on, like what?
um,
Because I've seen this one. I could talk to you about this one.
yeah, yeah. It's been a while.
Qui-Gon Jinn didn't do it for you.
What was that?
Qui-Gon Jinn didn't do it for you.
That was fine. That part was fine. Well, is it Riva, the Inquisitor? I felt like her story was just had a lot of potential, but really fell flat. Um,
Not a good protag or not a good antagonist to just really like the hunt of it all.
yeah, because I thought she had a good backstory where, she was like a Jedi youngling, and during like Order 66, like Darth Vader, like, like killed all her friends, and then she later joined the Inquisitors in order to like eventually get back at Vader. Like I thought that had some good potential, but then her acting wasn't that good, and then it also multiple characters were like stabbed in the stomach and then survived. And
That's what
and I really hated that too.
no, that's what I mean. It's just like I agree with you. I think I think she should have been more of an Assassin's Creed type of a villain, bringing us through this thing because she was hunting the whole
Mhm.
time,
Yeah.
but it didn't even like her costume didn't like appear to go for that huntswoman type of look, you know? Like it just
Yeah.
there was a lot of things that were just lacking and like you said fell flat. And I think that was the one that did it for me the most. I think the outfit is what makes the character, and how they resonate as an actor with that costume is what gives us the performance. Because it'll be so hard left, hard right of her performance based on the costume. And I think even though there was a lot of power and might in that, it didn't quite match her personality for what her storyline was, and that's what took me away.
Okay. I wasn't even thinking about that. But even like at the end where she like went after Luke to try to kill him, I was like, what is going on here? And
Oh,
then
is
also Obi-Wan like leaving like just not killing Vader. I mean, obviously like continuity wise that had to happen, but
he's not a but he's not a murderer. And
but then he said like, oh, because well, I thought Darth Vader was portrayed pretty well in it, especially like the line where he's like, "You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did," and then
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's like, "Then my friend is truly dead." Then he should have killed him right there.
Well, I mean, he had the opportunity to kill him multiple times. You
So like
know,
in episode 3, I'm like, okay, I could see in that moment how he's like he can't put himself to kill his best friend. Okay, fair. But then with the second time, knowing who he is and everything he's done, it's like, come on. Even though obviously I know that can't happen. I just wish the Obi-Wan show wasn't this huge big adventure. I kind of wish it was something a little more like introspective and like maybe like Obi-Wan going on some kind of like force vision, some kind of Force quest. I feel like him fighting Vader I feel like it was just really unnecessary, and it feels like it was just done for spectacle. And I wish I would have preferred something a little more small scale.
You thought it was too good?
No, I thought it tried to do too much.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I felt like him confronting Vader like a third time, I mean second time in in the continuity of it, but it just felt really unnecessary, and they did it better before. I would have preferred like when Qui-Gon came in at the end and was like, "Oh, I have training for you to do." I'm like, "All right, this is what I wanted." Like him, like because at the end of episode three, Yoda's like, "Oh, I have some training for you to do," and that's like him being able to become a Force ghost, basically, like we see it in the original trilogy. And it seems like they were kind of teasing that a little bit at the end of the Obi-Wan show. And I'm like, man, why couldn't that have been like a good chunk of the show instead of this like adventure going through the galaxy? And it just felt really unnecessary, and they just did it because it's like, oh, it's Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen back, which
But I mean,
it was cool to see them.
but even Hayden had the worst introduction when he first came in, I think, in what was it, the Clone Wars?
Yeah.
He had it really hard in the beginning, and
No, I mean, Hayden Christensen was great in the Obi-Wan show and Ahsoka. Like, honestly, his recent appearances have been like well done. He actually is a decent actor if given the right direction.
I guess. And then like even with the editing process, we're probably just looking at the wrong take.
I just think George Lucas is not the best director.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Because I mean, there's so many excellent actors in the prequels, but some of their delivery is really bad.
You think it's the actors doing that, or is it just
No, I think it's George Lucas as a director because of the original trilogy, he only directed the first movie.
hmm.
Yeah, he produced and wrote the other two, but he did not direct them. Um,
Well, I mean, but the acting and oh, I mean, the acting was consistent through all of those, though.
True.
They did not veer off, you know?
Yeah, but I think the problem with the prequels is that it was more so George Lucas doing it more so on his own because he had a lot of really talented people with the original trilogy that was really helping him. And he also had a lot of talented people with the prequels. I just think there's probably a lot of yes man syndrome because he just did that. He wrote and directed those movies all on his own. And because people just saw him as like an expert in what he does, they're just like, yeah, man, like you know what you're doing.
Hmm. Probably brings up a lot. I mean, it's divine orchestration at the end of the whole thing to assemble the whole thing together because there's so many things that'll just go wrong or can go wrong.
It's true. I mean, with the original movie, a lot of it was fixed in the edit.
You mean with Star Wars, the original one?
A New Hope, yeah.
The New
Like,
Hope, or New Hope
yeah,
is the new one, or the
yeah,
first one, I should say. Yeah.
yeah. So that there were like scenes that were created in post-production. And there was a number of scenes that were cut. That the Death Star trench run sequence was originally it's so much longer. So a lot was changed in post-production. It's kind of a miracle that film ended up being how it is. I mean, it's my favorite Star Wars movie. It's amazing, but yeah, it's there's a lot of talented people that worked on that for sure.
Did you ever watch Independence Day?
Yeah,
I'm sure you have. How'd you
in
like
a
that?
while, but yeah. What was that?
Well, the original Independence Day, how'd you like that?
It's been so long. I
Oh,
haven't seen
come
it since
on.
I
You
was young.
cannot. It's the best Fourth of July speech of all time.
Well, sure, yeah, fair. Yeah.
I only brought it up because I'm thinking of like Independence Day Part Two, where I think they tried way too hard and just a lot of things are just like did not match the original by any means of the definition. There were a lot of things that worked, but
Yeah.
a lot of it was just like, huh? That's dumb.
Yeah, I could see that just not working out, trying to bank on nostalgia and, it just falling flat.
But why do you think that happens? Because like there's a lot of pre-production that goes into the pitch room and the script ideas, and it's like
I think it's a lot of just executives, like producers, think that they know how to make movies, and they're like, oh, well, we need to add a love interest, and we need to add X, Y, and Z. I feel like there's just a lot of meddling, among like studio films with different executives, along with the writer, director, So I think, yeah, like I said before, sometimes it's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, we could play with the cliches in all the films just to avoid them.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is great, man. I'm really excited for you and the bottle because I got to say it really stood out amongst the film festival selection for here at season three. If anybody ever wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do it?
Yeah. So I have a YouTube channel and Instagram, Orange Echo Films. That's my film company.
All right.
Yeah, I do narrative films, music videos, experimental projects. Yeah.
All righty, we're gonna exchange YouTube links after this, and I'll make sure you get a look at Village Music.
Cool. Yeah.
It's real quick, and it's just I think you let me know what you like or don't like about it because that set the tone for my so-called career.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Humble beginnings.
It was definitely humble and just honestly, it was just so much fun to do. And it was actually honestly like a story like that. It's so simply done. Uh, you don't really you do see some movies like that, and for me, it's like nostalgic a little bit because you weren't trying to force it at any time. You weren't like trying to overdo it. You were just doing it.
Pure passion.
Just yeah, that was pure passion by every like, and you'll see it in the film, just between the music, the camera choices. They even accidentally kind of jumped genres a little bit because you had three different directors directing it because it was their film thesis and they were trying to just, put their
Oh, wow. Talk
put
about
their
too many cooks in the kitchen.
so you'll see where and why some things don't work, where it's just like, this is for my grade. I have to put it in. It's like
Yeah.
whatever. And it's a student film. It is what it is. But it
Sure.
somehow it worked.
Nice.
All right. So we know how to get in touch with you. Uh, all righty. So I guess before we wrap things up, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to thank all of our sponsors for all their generous donations. That's Mid Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. That's our bank. And also shout out to Happy Corner. Thank you so much for all of your fiscal and financial sponsorship. This was Spencer Maxwell here on the AFC podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, see both of our YouTube channels, and check out that description in the YouTube page. And don't forget to visit us at www.astoriafilmmakers.org and click the Triborough link to see where tickets can be found for the bottle on January 25th, 2024 at the Zucker Theater at Kaufman Astoria Studios. And definitely give a shout out to Kaufman Astoria Studios because we've been going there for 3 years. They're awesome. Shout out to Faye. Thank you so much for everything. And that's about it, man. Before we wrap up, I always end with one final segment called The Right Words at the Right Time. And I do this segment because in my early days, I was reading this book called The Right Words at the Right Time. And while I was reading this book, it was either literally during in between rehearsals while there and just being off stage and just kind of reading this collective of interviews of all these household names that you would know today. But when they were interviewed, they were barely household names. And there was a time once before where nobody knew who they were. They were in their younger days or they were just starting out. And that's why I asked the same question they were asked, because I believe that somebody, especially most of the people on this podcast, they're going to be known for their work in the film industry. So I want to ask you the same question that they were asked. And my question is, Spencer, has anybody ever given you the right words at the right time that has always just stuck with you and got you through everything that you ever overcame, that was always there to get you through for better or worse, for richer, for poor? You always held on to those right words that just kept you moving forward and kept you from quitting. Or if not, do you have any words of your own that you would like to share for somebody listening?
Hmm. Interesting question. Very big question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. I'm trying to think because like a little like 5 years ago, I was like in not a good place in life. And, that's when I was moving to New York and I was really trying to I was was running low on money. My career was stagnating. I had a bad breakup. And I was just not at a good place in life. And also, I wasn't working on creative projects. And I'm trying to think of something from that era that like really stuck out to me. Um, hmm. That's tough. But I mean, endure, you just have to endure. And, it can be very tough. And, especially if you're not in a good place, it can feel like it's going to last forever. But, you know, you have to endure, you have to keep at it, try something new. Yeah, I know it's a little generic, but, off the top of my head, that's what I think.
I know what it feels like where you have to really endure. And
Hmm.
if it's any consolation, I would say like if you do endure, uh it's not like there's a purpose for your pain. It's not all wasted because none of
Hmm.
it's wasted. And
Yeah.
what I can say is that yes, I could relate, and it's self-evident for the Astoria Filmmakers Club and sticking with it because there was a time where I was tapping out myself and I just didn't want to do anything anymore. I was at the end of my rope, and it did feel like I was going to be there forever. And I think it lasted nearly 3.5 years. But to your point, I did endure, and it was only because um, I really believe that shaping the Astoria Filmmakers Club would have would have like prevented all that bad shit from ever happening. And I just got it into my head that I would create a tool that I needed, uh, that I know that I needed the day before I even took my first acting class.
Mm.
And that's what we're here today doing. This is
Yeah.
exactly what I needed the day before I ever started.
Mm. Yeah. And on a related note, I actually just thought of something. Peaks and valleys. Life has its peaks and valleys, and sometimes if you're in a bad spot, you might just be in a valley, and a peak is not that far away.
Kind of reminds me of that one expression that the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next, so just keep climbing.
Yeah, that's true.
The guy who said that, but he won a Tony, I think, a couple of years ago. Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know anything about that guy's story, but his words resonated. Those are some very wise words, and they did help me endure. Because man, oh man, life, it like sometimes you do feel like you fell off that damn cliff,
Yeah, for sure.
but you got to get up, you got to endure, you got to persevere.
Yeah.
This is great. Spencer Maxwell, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the AFC podcast. I can't wait to meet you. Don't forget, we have the launch party happening on January 24th on 34th Avenue. Hope you can make it. We got over 50 people signed up for coming, so hopefully they all show up.
Yeah, no, I should definitely come to that. Yeah, yeah, looking forward to it.
Good, please do. It was great to meet you, man. So wish you a good night, and I'll leave you with this. Wherever you go and all that you do, always remember to never forget community, creativity, and joy.
Yes. Wise words.
Thank you, man. Have a great one. Merry Christmas. We'll see you soon.
You too. Thank you.
Ciao for now.
See ya.
May the force be with you.
And you as well.